Hey, true believers, it's Englentine here with another clip from our 4-hour live stream. In this case, we're talking about James Gunn. Boy, what a day makes, right? So this is Marvel trying to get James Gunn back onto Guardians of the Galaxy 3 because, well, you know, they've got a schedule to keep, and if they have to change directors, it's going to mess up the timetable. Well, that was before these pictures surfaced. Now, I've approached this in a couple of ways. One, I approach this at consistency. They fired Roseanne, therefore they should fire James Gunn. Then I approached it from, is one way is worse than the other. Do I think that anybody should be fired for their words? No, but James Gunn has brought this up so many times. If I were Disney, I would not rehire him without his going to see a professional. He has to see somebody about this. And then these pictures surfaced, and holy Toledo. I cannot believe this. I mean, you know, it's like you kind of want to think it's just jokes, but nope, there's far too many of them. It's like I said, there's far too many jokes for these to just be jokes. So anyway, I hope you enjoy the live stream and just understand that this live stream was done before these pictures surfaced. I was on a live stream when all of this started, and I said what was going to happen was that the cast members are going to start saying that they want James Gunn back, and that's when Disney's going to fold. So there's a report. Marvel Studios making an 11th hour plea to Disney to keep James Gunn on Guardians 3. So it's going.
Yeah, and
I
think
so.
I think for the better as well, because I think that it was a stupid decision to fire him.
Well, I think it was a stupid decision for them to fire Roseanne as well.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's I'm entirely consistent with you shouldn't be fired over Twitter jokes, even if they're in terribly poor taste. Which some of them were, and some of them were just him being an edgy trauma filmmaker because he got his start in trauma. And some of them were just her being her. She's always been kind of uncensored in her takes on things, so I don't know why anyone was surprised.
Yeah. Okay, so this saying, to be a fly on the wall in the ongoing Disney James Gunn meetings. Oh, by the way, Mellow E, no, you haven't missed all of it, just a lot of it. Some good stuff. It's been a good time going through. I've enjoyed going through these articles anyway. It should come as no surprise that Disney is in the middle of negotiations regarding the departure of James Gunn after his offensive tweets from almost a decade ago resurfaced. The Guardians of the Galaxy Helmer was quickly fired from the upcoming threequel, and ever since then, the studio has been getting backlash from fans, members of the media, and perhaps most importantly, the cast of the film. Now it appears that all hope is not yet lost, that the Mouse House could reverse its decision and bring Gunn back for Guardians 3, and then they can reinstate Roseanne. This comes after reports of rival studios lining up to work with Gunn. Yeah, apparently DC had said, okay, you don't want him, we'll take him. Come right on over. Why wouldn't they too?
Which is the smart plan. Good for you, DC. You finally got your shit together. Huzzah. But yeah, I'm glad that he's getting Guardians 3 back, and I'm hoping that means he also gets back his position in planning the Marvel Cosmic Universe, because you guys know how obsessive I am when it comes to cosmic shit, and having James Gunn work with Kevin Feige on that, get some of the burden off of Kevin Feige's shoulder, because the man, I'm sure, does eventually, he's gonna need a break. So having like lieutenants and partners that he can share the burden with, and also more creative voices to add to the like council of Marvel Studios, as it were, is a good idea. And I hope, provided that the second Doctor Strange movie is actually worthy of the character, they give Scott Derrickson something similar. But if it's not, then I'm going to rage vehemently and ask for Michael Dougherty to be the new director of Doctor Strange.
Veiled threat, drink, and another Doctor Strange mention, drink.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't drink alcohol with this. You will die. Drink.
You asked for all the Dalton tropes to be pointed out, so
I don't recall asking for that.
You said what were the Dalton tropes, and so I'm calling them out. Anyway, here's a way to go, and we'll continue the article in just a second. But here's a way to go. How about hire him if he seeks psychiatric help? I actually think that he needs to, because he goes to that well way too often. There may be something there that he needs to deal with. But in my opinion, you tell a joke, you shouldn't, no matter how off color it is, you shouldn't lose your job. Let's see. According to sources, unless you say it at the job, according to sources that spoke to Deadline, there seems to be a last-ditch 11th hour appeal from the folks at Marvel. Did I already read this part? No, he isn't. To accept Gunn back. The report is quick to say this is not a sign of a clash or any strong arming from Marvel against the mothership. Instead, the folks at Marvel are taking the temperature of the room, so to speak, and know that it may be in everyone's best interest to rescind the dismissal and allow the director to work on the franchise he's instrumental in bringing to life. Perhaps Dave Bautista's vocal displeasure with Disney has contributed to this new wrinkle in the story. The actor has been on the front lines of the hashtag rehire James Gunn movement, going so far as to say he'd walk away from the franchise if the studio didn't use Gunn's already written script for Volume 3. While the rest of the cast has been far less public with their feelings, they did all sign an open letter voicing their support of the ousted director and endorsing the rehire if Disney chose to go that route. Now, here's something I'll back Bautista on. A lot of times an actor signs for a movie. Now, granted, they signed a multi-picture deal when they signed on to do a Marvel movie. But a lot of times actors will sign on for a movie based on a script, and then during filming, it'll be written into a movie that they didn't want to do. So I can understand, if anything, they would want to keep the script, even if he isn't the director on it.
And also, Guardians was basically Bautista's first movie, and
major movie. He played a villain. I know.
Yeah, one of his first major movies, and he said it was his friendship with James Gunn that got him into it. So I can totally see now that he is an actor with some clout, especially because a large part of it came from James Gunn, him sticking by his friend and going, no, you're not going to do this to my friend, especially because he's the guy that basically made me an actor. And good on Bautista, and good on Bautista for doing it.
Okay, let's see. Can I get drunk on 7-Up and Strawberry Energy Crystal Light Mix? We'll see. I don't know. I'm getting water poisoning. Eric Breen is saying Gunn will be rehired, and the next conservative that does something wrong will be fired, not rehired. That's just the way it is. We know that'll happen. Yes. I wasn't even going to go see Guardians 3. Okay. Says Montanui. Undead Quinn, if he's hired again, I'll see boycott of the movie and tank like Star Wars. Well, everybody's got their position on things. You know, you can't. And the thing is, I can't argue against that. What he said was deplorable. Like, honestly deplorable, not Hillary Clinton deplorable. So I've got my view on it. I think he needs to seek help, but I don't think people should be fired for jokes. I just don't, unless of course they are doing their job, and in the middle of it they tell a joke that's incredibly offensive. Yeah, okay. If they're on the job, the company that they're working for, sure, they have that right. But he was. If
the actual characters on screen started talking about, like, raping 2-year-olds, then we would have a problem, and Lord knows that would not see the light of goddamn day because Disney. But I don't think that, personally. I think he was just being edgy, and it was like 10 years ago. and B, he's made significant strides since then. So I don't even think he necessarily needs to get counseling, because I think if anything, he's probably already gotten it, and someone just dug that out of the archive because they wanted to get at him for something. Which, in fairness, you could make the argument that because he's so vehemently like anti-Trump and kind of social justice-y from time to time.
Yeah.
But like, what I've said this a dozen times. The thing that we have against the SJWs, the thing that makes us actually worthwhile, is we're populistic, we're rational, and we are principally for things like free speech and free expression. They are not. If we lose those three things in the pursuit of getting at the SJWs, we will only be creating another monster. And more importantly, it'll probably be something equivalent to the fucking satanic panic from the 90s when a bunch of Christian nut jobs boycotted things like metal music and Dungeons and Dragons because
that was in the 80s.
Satanism, well, 80s and 90s. It was in that
Dude,
general. But
dude, I was there. Just go with it. I was literally there. It was in the 80s. Trust me on that.
It lasted quite a while though.
You cannot accept being wrong, can you? Okay, so anywho, Maranya is saying Marvel has precedent, if badly replacing directors for the third movies of a trilogy, so it would be no surprise read Jon Favreau being replaced for Iron Man 3. Drink. Because Maranya in every comment.
The Maranya drinking game.
Yeah, because she brings up Iron Man 3 every live stream as well.
You know, in fairness, because Iron Man is her character in the same way that Doctor Strange is mine, so
Drink.
I can't judge you for it.
Exactly. Exactly. Although I liked Iron Man. Iron Man 3 is my favorite of the Iron Man films. I did not, like when I did the rewatch before Black Panther and all that. I got to Iron Man 3. I was like, God, I don't know if I want to watch this. But when I watched it, I realized, wait, so this is more on character. I like this.
I didn't care for any of the Iron Mans, if I'm honest, but I don't fault anyone who did like them. Because I've never been an Iron Man guy, so I've basically been biding my time since 2008 to actually get into some things that are more cosmic oriented and more mystical in nature.
Okay.
I get bored very easily with street level stuff, so
gotcha.
That's just the general gist of it.
Just to finish up the article here on the business side of things, Deadline also mentions that with star Chris Pratt's schedule being as tight as it is, with the Guardians 3 filming already, scheduled for early 2019, the worry is that the film won't be ready to go if there's changing of the guard. Marvel Studios has worked on a similar timeline before when Edgar Wright departed Ant-Man and Peyton Reed took over duties. However, that film was the start of a franchise and didn't already have an incredibly high expectations. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, on the other hand, is one of the flagship films for Marvel Studios moving forward, and James Gunn has been the sole creative voice behind the scenes. So as we can plainly see, the discussion between Disney, Marvel, and James Gunn are far from over, and no one is certain what will. See, if it's that way, then I think it would be the smartest move to keep the script. Whether you keep James Gunn or not, that would be it. And what I would do if I were Marvel, I would hire somebody who would be a ghost director.
I would get Taika Waititi to do it, because Thor Ragnarok is similar enough in tone to the Guardians that if you kept his script and you had Taika do the directing, it would be fairly seamless, I think.
That could work. That could work. I don't know if you heard this. I saw this on I love the movie Tombstone. And I bought the Blu-ray. I saw the extras, and you find out that Kurt Russell is actually the director of that movie. The guy who they hired wasn't experienced or something, and I think they could do the same thing. Like Taika comes on and just has James Gunn tell him exactly, hey, what did you want? What was it that you were looking for?
Well, and also they're friends, so it's not like their visions would clash so extremely either. Like, first of all, they have very similar like styles and skill sets in the first place, and they know each other already, so it'd be fairly seamless. But still, I do think best case scenario is DC should rehire him and just call it a day.
Okay. So that was then, this is now. What's the opinion? I think that these are pictures with adults. It's very, when you put them together with the tweets, it really is I mean, it's disturbing, just the tweets, but this adds a layer to it. This is the next step. I think James Gunn needs to seek professional help. I did before, and now I seriously do. Do I think the DC should hire him? No, I don't think anyone should until, I mean, he is a time bomb right now. And it's good that he was discovered, because he would be the representation of Disney and Marvel had this happened after Guardians of the Galaxy 3 or whatever. I truly believe he needs to seek professional help. That's flat out it before anybody else hires him. Somebody's going to. It's going to happen. James Gunn is a name, and he's a director, so somebody will pick him up. They might rename the director. It might be an Alan Smithy film. But I think that because he did Guardians of the Galaxy, somebody, even if it's an independent, will pick him up. But I truly believe this man needs to seek help before it goes from a party with adults looking like kids to actual children, if it hasn't already. Those photos has yet to surface. But that's just my opinion. What is yours? What do you think about this whole thing? Do you agree with me? Do you think he should be hired? Do you think he should be fired? Do you think he should just be blacklisted forever? I think he needs to seek help. Let me know in the comments below what you think about and feel about all of this. Also, if you like this video, you want to see more, you know the drill. Click like, click share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Cool things happen around these parts, and I'd hate for you to miss any of it. Also, this is the way we're trying to make a living, so if you don't mind helping out the channel, go on over to Patreon, drop $1 in the till. Help us keep the lights on and help us keep making videos for you. Not just on this channel, but on two. I've got a theme park / Disney kind of channel I just started up. It's at 72 subscribers. I can use more. I can use more views, so go on over. Links in the description below as well, and check that out. Thank everybody who's already done that, and to everyone, all of the true believers, thank you very, very much for watching.